You got Winnipeg and you got Toronto here. Does that resonate with you at all?
Oh, yeah, 100% for two completely different reasons. And anybody who knows my background probably realizes how invested I am in the Jets. I covered that team for 8 years, and I saw them when they folded and didn't think an NHL team would ever come back to Winnipeg. So, again, I know what that team means to that community, and it is a very good team. I see a Western Conference final with Nashville and Winnipeg.
Wow.
And as for Toronto, they have their own following in their own way. I kind of like the upset there in that series. I just kind of see like their firepower. I'm not sure how it's all going to come together. It will mean like Austin Matthews at least getting a draw against Patrice Bergeron.
Yeah.
And, if he turns into a scoring star in that series, to me, they win it. I like their goaltending, love their speed, and Boston's a little beat up right now. So, you add all those things together, it's a coin flip. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but I just kind of like the Leafs the way they are right now.
I'm just hoping the Leafs have at least a 2-goal lead in the third period of Game 7, and we'll just take it from there.
If that happens, I don't think this team will cough it up the way that other team did.
Well, just from the coach on down, they have really rebuilt.
Yeah.
We want to talk about culture. They have, whether you agree with it, whether you like it, the 47-man front office, they've done their homework there in terms of like finally trying to get it right. Who do you like though? Like you talk about Nashville and Winnipeg, you can see that. I mean, there are other contenders out there as well. I mean, Vegas does intrigue me. We've all been waiting for the pumpkin to come back.
Yeah.
And the Kings have played well on the stretch getting in there. So do you see East and West as balanced? Do you see the West as tougher? Or?
Well, it's and maybe it's because I see the West more, but I have firmer ideas on the West. I like San Jose, and I know that goes kind of against conventional wisdom, but I think Evander Kane gave them a dimension they didn't have before, and I know they didn't finish that strongly, but I think they will have enough to beat an Anaheim team that is starting to show age in some key areas, like Winnipeg, like I said, like Nashville, and I like LA. I just think they're going to have a little too much, and they're good. Their best players are playing so well now, whether it's Doughty or Kopitar. Doughty for me is the Norris Trophy winner. Yeah. Kopitar is a top 3, top 4 guy in the heart. So I like them. Now the East to me is just wide open. I couldn't. I don't know. I like the upset in Toronto. I like the upset with Columbus. Over Washington. I think you have to go with Pittsburgh just because they're Pittsburgh, and you have to pick them because you get laughed at if you don't, and they win another Stanley Cup.
That's a fun rivalry though, Pens and Flyers.
Oh yeah, no, it is. No, and look, the one thing I will say about the NHL is the way when they changed the playoff format, they have created some terrific rivalries, and they're all good. Most of them are going to play out in the East. With Boston and Toronto, with Philly, Pitt, Columbus and Washington, and sorry, what's the other series? Help me.
Tampa and
Tampa. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Tampa and
yeah, I know. Completely drawing a brain.
I
just did the schedule. I think Tampa's going to steamroll their way to the second round.
Well, I really like Tampa there, Paul, for these reasons and that reason.
But there are some intriguing teams in there. I have read a lot of stuff that people are picking the Capitals to finally get it done, but I don't know if that's just a retread over the last 4 years that I've read this story.
They're kind of the same
team over and over.
They've always been, and now they. When you're confused over who your starting goalie is going into game 1, that's not a great sign for me. Now, maybe you can get lucky. Maybe one of them gets hot. I can remember playoff series where like one guy started and he couldn't and the other guy came in, and Murray not too long ago and all the rest of it. So yeah, they wouldn't be my first choice, and like I said, I like that Columbus team, and they've got the world's most interesting coach running it too, but they've got I love their blue line. They have an elite blue line, and if they can just get enough scoring from those guys.
Winnipeg aside, do you have a sentimental favorite where you think it would be a great story for hockey in general if they win a Stanley Cup?
Can't I go with Winnipeg?
Well, we know. I know you're going to say Winnipeg, but
okay. I'm not going to go Toronto. There.
No, of course not.
I think I will say Nashville.
Yeah, that's what I would say too.
Just because they showed, and it was such a fantastic show in the final last year. And I think just the way they built that team, they've just been so smart in assembling those pieces, and they've done it in a way, without tanking, by drafting and developing
some
and
big
keeping
trades
at it and
they had some
winning
balls
trades.
making big moves, really.
100%. And I'm not sure if you can't really say. They got equal value, Seth Jones for Ryan Johansson, but the fact is they landed this big playmaking centerman, which they didn't have, and they had defensemen coming out the yin-yang. So, Seth Jones might win a Norris Trophy here over the next 5 years, but they got the piece they needed. And I've said this before, if the Canucks are ever looking for a model to build their franchise, it's Nashville and the way they built their thing.
One of the things for me with Nashville is you see the way the city really has embraced the sport, and no disrespect to Tampa and whoever they're playing in the first round. But, we know they've won a cup, and they've got a core of fans, but I think people are more interested still in baseball and what the Bucks will do than what's going on in hockey. Whereas I think in Nashville, they've really said, this is our team. And you see the atmosphere in that building. You saw what it was like in the Stanley Cup last year. So that's the sentimental thing for me. That'll keep me interested.
They've got the football team, they've got Vanderbilt, they've got country music, and they've got the Predators. So, there isn't a lot of competition there, and there is a laser focus on that team now. And again, the way they built it and the success they've had, and, it's it seems to be, amping up for this crescendo this year. But no, it's a terrific market, and it's one of those things Bettman can rightly point to and say, we knew what we were doing when we expanded to all these weird cities.
And 'twas not always thus, Ed. So we will leave it there. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your insight. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we will talk to you next week.